I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. My delegation joins others in commending your decision to promptly reconvene the 10th emergency special session of the General Assembly on the question of Jerusalem. In the face of this new challenge, where unilateral actions by one country are set to undo decades of work of the international community and to defy international law, this Parliament of man, this Parliament of the world, is the right and appropriate forum to send a reassuring message to the suffering and the long-oppressed people of Palestine, who have been losing hope in the possibility of securing a viable, contiguous and independent state of Palestine, as well as losing hope in the effectiveness of the United Nations to address their plight. Mr. President, on behalf of the people and the government of Pakistan, I wish to reiterate that the US decision to recognize Jerusalem as the so-called capital of Israel and to relocate its embassy to the holy city constitutes a clear violation of international law and is contrary to the provisions of several United Nations Security Council and General Assembly resolutions. We regret and we reject this action and urge the United States to rescind its decision. Mr. President, we find ourselves at one of history's turning points. The extraordinary developments of the past few weeks warrant an equally extraordinary response from us. We must uphold the prevalent and time-honored norms, both legal and moral. We must also recommit to thwarting any and all attempts to violate the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people and the ultimate goal of a two-state solution. My delegation believes that the US veto earlier this week in the Council represents a dangerously misplaced strategy. The veto attempted to legitimize a declaration that is already null and void and lacks any legality. Through the resolution that we will adopt today, the rest of the world will say clearly and unambiguously that it cannot and will not be complicit in any act of illegality. Mr. President, support to the Palestinian cause and the defense of Al-Quds al-Sharif has been a pillar of my country's foreign policy. Our support remains unwavering and will always remain unwavering, despite the kind of threats that we have received in recent days. My country has always demonstrated its solidarity with the Palestinian people and their legitimate aspirations. Our Parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly, have unanimously echoed these sentiments. We all stand firmly behind the Palestinian people and behind their just struggle. Let me recall that the first ever standalone General Assembly resolution on Jerusalem, GA Resolution 2253, adopted on 4th of July 1967, at an emergency special session of the General Assembly was led and sponsored proudly by Pakistan. Today, equally proudly, Pakistan will join the rest of the international community in adopting this landmark resolution to collectively reject the revisionist decision of the United States. We have also co-sponsored this resolution. Finally, Mr. President, in conclusion, let me say, a viable, independent and contiguous state of Palestine on the basis of internationally agreed parameters, the pre-1967 borders, and with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital, remains the only sustainable guarantee for securing and enduring peace in the Middle East. No other plan will ever constitute a just solution. No other plan will work. No other plan will succeed. And no other plan will be acceptable by us. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of Pakistan. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Indonesia.